and go into the business of deciding who can say what?
Yeah, well, you fight them by doing what I did, Truth. I have Truth Social, and it's been, as you know, through the roof, and you do other things, and you do interviews. I guess I'm at a little bit of an advantage because they all want to do my interview because we get ratings. If I want to call any one of them, they'll have me on in 2 seconds. But OAN has been treated very terribly, I think, and they do a phenomenal job. And I will say that I am getting OAN more easily now than I got it 6 months ago. So somebody's doing a very good job at OAN, and their coverage is great. People love it. People are looking for it all over, and they're finding it. So somebody's done a very good job for OAN, but it is terrible what's happened, the unfairness, and we don't have freedom of speech, really. You don't have a free press and a fair press. The press is actually corrupt. I think I was the one with the fake news, and I called them fake news loud and clear, and it became almost a staple. But it's actually much worse than fake news. It's corrupt news. It's fake, but it's corrupt. They report stories the way they want to report them, and in many ways, the worst thing they do is what they don't report. They won't report things.
It seems like it's coming from the top. It seems like there are orders being given to these media outlets because they're certainly not doing the censorship out of profit concerns.
Well, they're doing it from the standpoint that it seems to be a coordinated attack, because I remember once the word was manufactured. They used manufactured votes or manufactured politics. It's just not a word that's used. And all three major newscasts use the word manufactured. The manufactured something. And I said, wait a minute, that's not a word that's ever used, and they're all doing it. It's almost like they're getting orders, marching orders from somebody. I think it's probably the DNC or it's somebody, but it's out there, and you have to fight like hell. Now, despite that, I got more votes than any sitting president ever by a lot, by many millions of votes. It's a miracle, actually. Now, bad things happened, however, really bad things that should never, ever be allowed to happen. It was a disgrace. But they do. They silence you, and you're not allowed to talk about the election because they don't want anybody talking about the elections. You know why? Because the facts aren't on their side. Mm-hmm. They don't want anybody.
Yes,
you
sir.
Look at 2,000 mules. I have so many people say, how do I get it? How do I get it? They're all talking about it. They can't get it. It's very, very hard to get. It's a very dangerous thing. You know, I used to say, we're going to be Venezuela on steroids. Mm-hmm. Well, that's happening. That's happening.
Mr. President, testament to your continued popularity is the fact that you have a very strong endorsement record. And just for comparison, let's look at Barack Obama's endorsement records. When he endorsed candidates in 2020, he chose 232 candidates to publicly endorse. Of the 232, he had 95 wins and 137 losses.
That's not good.
You, on the other hand, have had 146 wins and only 11 losses.
I don't even know how it's 11. I thought it was 7 or 6, but...
Well, we never hear about Barack Obama's endorsements. Why do you think that is? Do you think that is because...
You mean his losses?
We never hear about his endorsements or his losses.
Yeah, well...
is that because his voice doesn't matter in the Democrat Party anymore, or people just don't want to highlight his losses?
No, they don't want to talk about the losses. No, his voice matters in the party, and I think he probably has a lot to say about what's going on. I can't imagine, because he's a good politician, I can't imagine that he's in favor of some of the things that are happening right now, because what we're doing with respect to energy independence and all of these different elements that are so crazy, the border, let's have millions and millions of people pour into our country that we have no idea who they are, and we had it stopped. We had the strongest border in history. We had energy independence. We had everything. Everything was perfect. You would have never had Russia, Ukraine, would have never, ever happened. And now you look at this world, it's a mess.
Categorically, did you expect for Biden to be able to dismantle this much so quickly?
Well, I was surprised, because if he just went to the beach, he would have had a great border right now. Human trafficking is right now at levels that we've never seen before. I had that way, way down. And this is terrible, mostly dealing with women, dealing in women. It's terrible. And human trafficking is way down. Now we have the highest numbers we've ever had.
I think that message resonates still. I mean, your legacy and your stances on immigration still resonate, and that's why your endorsement record is so strong. And to that point, I do want to ask you about your endorsement process. After the break, Trump talks how he arrives at endorsements, and the very person